We are facing the final challenge of our voyage, a 500 nautical mile sail upwind to the Marquesas, our sanctuary from cyclone season. With the wind on our nose, we embarked on a journey that tested our resolve, our sails, and our spirit. Endless sail changes, navigating through squalls and storms, then becalmed in a glassy ocean. It's only through struggle comes triumph, and Neptune rewarded us tenfold, only to humble us once again after our rookie mistake. Join us for the final roller coaster ride to one of the most beautiful anchorages in the world. Hey guys, so today is the day we have been waiting for I don't know, a couple of weeks now. Yeah. We finally have a weather window to sail from Fakarava to, I think, Fatu Hiva in the Marquesas. Yeah. And this is going to be an upwind sail, right?
Mostly upwind, some reaching, mostly upwind sail. What is this, like a northeast wind?
Starting out, it's like north and a little bit northeast and then shifts to northwest, and really the wind only comes from this direction for short periods of time this time of year, and it's coming from the tropics, kind of strangely enough for us people from northern hemisphere. So it typically does bring rain, and it has been raining, so it is going to rain. But in order to get this kind of northwest, northeast wind, that's what we have to deal with. Otherwise, it would be all east and it would just be a bash.
For 2/3 of the trip, we're going to have wind on our port side, and then we're going to tack, and the wind is going to be on the starboard side.
Right, because then the wind shifts back to the east, but that's good because at that point we'll be heading north. Hopefully everything plays out like we've planned. And we actually have two friends that left. One left Papiete and one left Maria like a couple of days ago, and they're doing the same exact route that we're doing. So, and one of them is a climate scientist, so she's an expert in weather.
Yeah.
So we feel good about this weather window.
Yes. So we're gonna go now.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. We weighed anchor and headed towards the Fakarava Pass. If you've been following our channel, you know these passes can be tricky to navigate, and vessels should only traverse them around slack tide. The pass actually looks super calm. I don't want to jinx this. That was the calmest we've ever seen a pass. It was awesome. The slack was supposed to be at 10 and it was like 9:42 as we were going through. So I think that's a good omen. The cloudy skies reminded me we were making a good choice to leave the Tuamotus, as there is no protection from storms that may come through during cyclone season. All right, so what's the plan?
Well, the plan is that we're going to hoist the sail. The wind is picking up a little bit. It's 9 knots now. So it's time to hoist the sail and get going where we're going.
And how do you feel?
Okay, I'm happy we left. The timing was perfect.
Yep, timing was perfect for sure.
Yeah, some swells, not terrible.
Yeah. We're on our way.
On our way.
Well, the wind picked up now. I think we're coming through a little squall. It's pouring rain. Got 20 knots of true wind, 21, 22 knots of apparent wind, and we're going like 8 knots. We're moving. The clears provide some protection from the rain, and thankfully our new autopilot allowed us to stay inside as well. So far the wind has been extremely fickle, but right now we've got like 13 to 15 knots on the beam, and so we pulled out the screecher and we're sailing. Feels so good after like an hour and a half of motoring with no wind. Woo! Hopefully this holds out for a little bit.
We just love this. We're doing like 8.7 with 13.6 knots of wind and an angle, apparently an angle of 61. This is just like she is really loving this wind, just on the beam, go forward to the beam with this creature. And this is ocean sailing, we're not in a lake.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a good bit of swell too.
Yeah. She's flying right through it.
Yep.
If you're enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel.
Fortunately, we had to, whoa, a lot of swell. We had to furl this creature and take up a jib because we are just not going in the right direction. Plus, it looks like there's a big squall on the horizon. We're going a little bit slower than we were, but at least we're going more in the right direction now.
It seemed like we were getting in a good groove, the four of us, me, Fab, Yoda, and Wanderlust, gliding through the water, and I reminded myself to enjoy the journey.
Just finished our dinner. We had lamb and a chickpea salad with some sprouts Fabio's growing and sun-dried tomatoes, some hearts of palm, and olives. It was really good. And I'm on watch now. It's about 5:30 p.m. It gets dark around 6:30, and right now we are really kind of headed in the wrong direction, but there's not much we can do about it because if we tack, we're going to go back towards the atoll, and so the wind has died down and we've got the starboard engine on to help us kind of point more into whatever wind there is right now. Hopefully, I think the wind is supposed to pick up and change direction around like 1 in the morning, so hopefully it does. But for now, I'm listening to an audiobook, The Soul of an Octopus, and keeping watch and trying to shift in the right direction as much as I can.
Light turned to dark and we swapped watches every 4 hours.
Good morning, guys. Overnight we had super light winds, and so we had to motor sail through the night really to make any headway. But this morning we are sailing. We've been sailing all morning and in fact had to take a reef because the winds got up to 24 knots apparent. Right now they're hovering around 18 knots and direction is kind of vacillating between north and northeast. So when it's north, we're able to make some more progress towards where we're going. When it's northeast, we have to kind of go a bit further south. But overall, not too bad for sailing in the wrong direction. I don't know if you guys remember or saw that episode. Our first batten broke a while ago and Fabio repaired it. Well, it broke again this morning, so our speeds won't be as fast as they could be. But what are you gonna do? That's sailing.
It's useless to worry when things like this happen. We simply need to roll with the punches and adapt to each challenge presented.
All right, so we're trying to follow the track that we set to predict wind using the ECMWF model. And the wind is significantly, at this point, significantly off track. We have a commanded angle of 40 degrees apparent, and we are not going where we want to go. We're going towards Raroya instead of going to the Disappointment Island there, that kind of like the target. The wind should be changing soon, hopefully, and we'll resume course. But at least we're making some progress. We're going about 6, 5, 7 knots, and the true wind is somewhere between 13 and 14 knots. We broke the first batten, as Kristin told you, so our sail is not performing as well as it should, and we have one reef. It was this pretty squally, so all of a sudden the squalls come out of nowhere and the wind jumps up, and we don't want to take a reef every time, so we're just gonna be more conservative.
We've been sailing along pretty good. The wind has been quite finicky, up, down, and kind of all over the place. We've got another squall kind of on the horizon. We've been lucky so far, so fingers crossed it just goes around us.
This time, luck was not on our side, and rain came down on us once again.
The wind is changing constantly with the squalls, so you tack and then you get tack again and tack again. Right now we're in the middle of the change.
Yoda, what do you think, girl? Whoa, it's raining. The wind died.
Yeah. Still moving.
Yeah.
5, 6. But the wind is down to 9.
Once the squall passed, we were able to shake the reef and tack for a better sailing angle.
Going the wind.
Going in the wind.
The calm did not last, and we had to reef again.
I believe I'm in the wind.
The clears keep us semi-dry, but I'm not able to see the mainsail, and there's a delay with the instruments, hence my lack of conviction. We have to work as a team. Fabio is captain and eyes on the sails, and me executing his instructions. When we're in sync, it's like a beautiful symphony.
Go sailing. Where until the squall passes.
Alright, the squall has pretty much passed, at least the high wind portion of it, so we're going to shake out the reefs because we got like 13 knots of true wind.
Reefing adapts our sails to the wind's force by reducing the surface area. On a monohull, there's forgiveness in the nature of the weighted keel, which can lean over and spill the wind. In contrast, catamarans require a more careful approach. There's no leaning nor spilling the wind. The full power of the gust is transferred to the rig and the boat stays flat more or less. Reefing by the numbers is a must, or damage to the equipment may occur. When gusts push the limits, we find ourselves constantly taking and shaking reefs, especially when the aim is to maintain good speed.
Now it looks like we can put out this creature again.
Wouldn't mind that.
Every so often, Fabio throws the lines in the water to remove the twist, which forms naturally from the wraps around the winch. Then we unfurled the screecher.
All right, it seems the weather has kind of stabilized. It's still raining, but now we have the screecher out. We're moving around 6 knots, 6.5 knots. But Fabio discovered the leech line in the screecher is broken. It snapped, so the leech is flapping around a bit, but it's nothing we can do right now. So at least we're moving, we're sailing.
A huge thank you to our patrons. We are so grateful for your support. If you'd like additional content and real-time updates, consider joining the Harbors Unknown community on Patreon.
It is like 5:30, so just an hour before dark on day 2, I guess. I mean, we left yesterday at 10 a.m. We are sailing along upwind, and it is pretty lumpy now. Hopefully things will stay like this overnight. We'll see. I mean, nothing stayed the same for very long this trip, but at least we're sailing and making pretty decent speed at this point.
With the weather stabilized, Fabio was able to get some rest. I love the morning 4-hour dog watch. Sailing at sunrise offers a moment of unparalleled peace. The first light paints the sky with pastel hues as Wanderlust glides effortlessly through the waves. It's a time for reflection, surrounded by my little world by Yoda and Fabio, eyes puffy with sleep.
Hey guys, today is day 3 of our passage to the Marquesas, and we finally have some sunshine. And I hope what I'm about to say doesn't jinx us, but we've had pretty steady winds for the past few hours. Did have gusts to 24 knots this morning, so we took in a reef, but now the winds have gone back down. I guess in the high gusts are 18, and so we're cruising along upwind. So we've got the jib out, the main up, and guess what? We are fishing. Or attempting to fish. We've got out a couple hand lines, the fishing pole, so hopefully we can catch something. We haven't caught a fish since our passage from Panama, and it was like, I don't know, the first few days after we left Panama, so hopefully we can catch a fish.
We gambled on this voyage, casting our die with the whims of the season. Our wager paid off on the third day of our journey. Good breeze and sunny skies. Sailing in fair weather with just the sea beneath us. Wind forward of the beam and our destination ahead. In our wake, a chest of wonderful memories, life-changing experiences, acts of kindness, wonderful people. We hoped we would find that in this next chapter. In the meantime, the sails are full and trimmed, the bows cut through the waves and hum a tune familiar to sailors.
Today is day 4 of our passage, and we are slowly making progress. The wind is coming from exactly where we need to go. We've kind of turned to head north to Fatu Hiva now. We have just over 200 miles left to go. Sailing a bit off the path, of course, because the wind is coming directly from there. But it is sunny. It was sunny yesterday. We've just had a few squalls hit here and there, and taking reefs and doing reefs. But other than that, for sailing upwind in the wrong direction, it is overall pretty nice. We have wind from 12 to about 14 knots, and we're going about, averaging, I guess, about 6 knots. So, not too bad.
The wind has died and our speed is down to like between 3 and 4 knots. We have to do 157 miles to get to Fatu Hiva.
Yep.
And so we're sailing upwind. The angle is about right now is 36, which gives us a VMG of about 2.5, between 2.2 and 2.5. And so to get there is going to take us 50 hours. To do 100, so it's 2 days to do 150 nautical miles.
Yeah.
So the option is to fire the engine, which we have fuel, but the fact is that when we get there, there's no fuel in Fatu Hiva.
Right.
And we don't know where we're gonna get fuel because that's some sort of is that a strike? What is that?
Yes, there's a strike, and so they've limited the fuel for cruisers to 100 liters of diesel and 20 liters of gas. So that's just 26 gallons of diesel, so it's not very much at all.
Right.
And we heard that there's not going to be any deliveries for the month of January. So we don't know really how much fuel we're going to be able to get over the next couple months.
So we can do 156 to be there tomorrow, motoring.
Which would be great.
But then we have to deal with the fuel shortage when we get there.
Right. I don't know.
What would you do?
Yeah, let us know what you guys would do in the comments below.
So if we motor, we average, 6 knots, 150 nautical miles about is a day, like 24, 25 hours.
Okay.
So we cut the travel in half.
Right.
And we use 25 hours. We use we use a gallon, so 25 gallons.
Right. So it's not that bad.
Not that bad. And we have 25 gallons.
What do we have on port?
On port we have 64 gallons, and on starboard we have 39.
Okay.
Plus we have jerry cans.
Right.
Probably 4 jerry cans, another 20 gallons in jerry cans.
All right.
So I say we fire up the iron sail.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't like it, but. Yeah, the wind is right smack on the nose, and that's what they say, that the wind vane up there, see the wind vane on top of the mast?
Yeah.
That's what it does, it points where you want to go.
Fabio pulled the halyard through the seawater to remove the twist, we furled the jib, and dropped the main as the sails would just be flapping as we motored. Grateful for a stunning sunset, I stayed up front to watch the show as clouds and colors danced across the sky. A full moon high in the sky in our last overnight, its light sparkling on the water's surface and stars twinkling amongst the clouds. It was truly a magical scene. Good morning, guys. It is flat as a pancake out here. There's like 2 knots of wind, I think. But we have an unfortunate soul on board this morning. Yoda actually loves to eat them, so I'm gonna cut it up and put it in her food. Don't you like them? Yeah. Come here, Yoda. On this last morning, the wind ceased as if it had never been. In only a few hours, the waves had disappeared into a sea of mirrors. Sitting on the gunnels, we watched our reflections, the 3 of us, puzzled, mesmerized, hypnotized. It was the last day of our passage, a journey marked by the pursuit of good wind leading us to a horizon that seemed to blend with storm and squalls. Yet now, all motion had given in to the stillness enshrouding our world. Our reflections in the water, alone, and a sea showing one of its many faces, one without the scars of squalls and wrinkles of the breeze.
Yeah, we're gonna. No, Yoda, no. Oh my god. Okay, slow down the engine, yeah.
I need gloves.
Okay.
It's a tuna.
Oh my god, this is so fabulous.
Yeah, but
It's there.
it's huge.
Oh, holy fuck.
Yeah. It's huge.
Oh my god, okay.
Unfortunately, in the commotion, I pointed the camera in the wrong direction. With Fabio holding the handline, I had to gaff the fish.
Stick it in there. Stick it in. Give it like a Hit it strong. Okay. Just make sure it's
Fortunately, I was able to hook it and Fabio pulled it on board.
Yes.
Look at that. Oh my god, it's huge.
Yeah.
Wow. Hold on. Oh. What's going on?
We realized we had broken the winch and needed to pull the line out that was wedged inside.
It's amazing, right?
I'm so tired. Putting this thing up was like an incredible effort.
We had never caught a fish this big. It was an amazing reward near the end of this journey, and thankfully we had room in the freezer.
All right, guys, we have Fatu Hiva in sight. It's just like an hour and a half, 2 hours before we get there. I'm so ready. Incredible, right?
Oh, beautiful. Back to probably the most beautiful island in the Marquesas.
You ready, kid? Oh, you're ready. You're ready to play.
Boiling.
I know.
It's amazing. Look at that fish jumping.
Fish were leaping out of the water and birds diving for dinner. As Fatu Hiva's silhouette came more into focus, we absorbed the beauty in front of us. Giant clouds resting on jagged peaks, the sun's evening light casting a golden hue on its face. A distant squall reminding us what we've been through. This is so incredibly beautiful right now with the sunlight glowing on the island and the moon up above. It's just so beautiful, and I'm really happy to be back out on the water. I feel free. We had strategically navigated Wanderlust about 1,000 nautical miles from Tahiti, upwind to this Jurassic-like sanctuary for cyclone season, at times bashing against waves, and during squalls, sometimes seemingly endless sail changes, a few broken parts, lessons in humility, patience, resilience. But it's those experiences that make you feel most alive, like you've truly accomplished something, as a team no less. It was an unforgettable adventure, and most importantly, brought us closer to each other. Nestled amongst the cliffs, the anchorage came into view. I took the helm in the day's final light, and we searched for a safe spot to drop our hook.
So happy to be here.
Happy to be anchored.
I know.
It's so hard to anchor here in Fatu Hiva. There's very few spots with sand and there's boats all around. So, and it's deep. It gets deep immediately. It goes for like from 50 to like 90 in 2 seconds, and then it's forget about it.
Yeah.
So, but the good news is that we're eating this fantastic tuna. Look at this bad boy here.
I know, it's delicious.
We're gonna make a couple of poke balls.
What's in the sauce?
There's some soy sauce, some sriracha, a little ginger grated, and lemon juice.
Nice.
Put it on top. This wonderful homemade kimchi.
Mmm.
Smells delicious.
I know.
We made it maybe 6 weeks ago, right? No?
All right, guys, we are going to enjoy our dinner and then get some rest.